Blamy University's Center for Psychiatric Rehabilitation's goal is to connect our viewers with supportive resources in the community and to help individuals enhance their career development and overall well-being. Everyone can be successful with the right support.
In the last ditch, I think of you. In the last ditch, I will be true.
Good afternoon. My name is Kim Bissett, and I'm here to help you get a job, change jobs, or advance in the job you currently have. Welcome to Employment for All, where we believe everyone can be successful with the right supports. Our show today is sponsored by the Department of Mental Health, and we'd like to thank them very much for their support. Each week we bring you informative and interesting resources in the community to help you promote your career development, and this week is no exception. We'd like to welcome Sarah Selkovites. You are the Director of Recovery at Bay Cove Human Services.
That's correct.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're very excited to have you. And Susan Blamy, you are a peer support worker at Bay Cove Human Services.
Yep.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So let's start off as we do every week. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Sarah.
Well, I have worked for Bay Cove for 12 years, and I moved up from direct care to Director of Recovery.
Fantastic.
In those 12 years.
Cool.
And I'm just recently got married, and I'm a person with lived experience of mental illness.
Great. Thank you. Susan, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been working as a peer support worker for Bay Cove for almost a year now, and I would really like to get some more training at some point to eventually work in the ER as a peer support worker.
Great.
I love camping in the spring, and I'm also a painter.
Great. Okay. Wonderful. Well, so glad to have you both here, and it's an interesting perspective. We've got a 12-year veteran at Bay Cove, and we've got kind of a first-year newly anointed, if you will, to Bay Cove. So that's very exciting to get two different perspectives. So very much we talk about recovery a lot here on Employment for All. So tell us how you got involved in the recovery movement.
Well, I was very much a rebel without a cause. I was living in Iowa, and I had a workshop program, and I decided I really needed to work. And along the way, people tried to stop me from working, but because they didn't want me to work full time or for other reasons. And I ended up volunteering and then finding a job, and then I volunteered for a hotline and then I got a job like 6 months later working for another hotline for the American Red Cross in Des Moines, Iowa. And since then, I've been working my way towards helping people with mental illnesses with their own recovery.
Fantastic. And now you're the Director of Recovery, which I think is a very cool title. You know, it's very fun. Excellent. So you really worked your way up, and you've had different challenges along the way where people said, like, maybe work isn't important, but it was very important to you, and you've gone through and really made that a priority.
And then I became an employment specialist, and I found out that I needed to help people find work and give them those dreams that I had and help them get those gifts of finding work and having a real life like everyone else.
Absolutely, because what are the two questions people ask you when you go to a party or you go to a grocery store or anywhere? They say, what do you do, and are you in a relationship? And,
right.
And those are two key components of life. And if you're not working or you're not in school, you feel a little out of step. So they're really important pieces for people to reclaim their lives.
Definitely.
So Susan, tell us how you got involved in the recovery movement.
I had people that worked with me specifically who had lived experience, and that helped me a lot because I knew that they weren't just telling me a lot of bull, to be perfectly
Right.
honest.
Right.
And then I started volunteering. I volunteered on boards and committees with DMH and found that work was really rewarding. And then I started doing call centers as well, and found that I liked volunteering with people and slowly started working with people.
Fantastic. So it really was having people to kind of tell you what it was, tell you kind of the straight truth around it, and people who had been in the same experience and been able to share what they were talking about.
True.
And that's really informed your work as a peer support worker. Do you want to tell us about your job? What kind of things do you do?
What I do at Bay Cove and the Peer Education Resource Center is I am available to anyone who comes in and who calls at the center, and we specialize in giving individualized attention to people who are job searching for specific jobs or in general, cover letter writing, resume writing, and we provide recovery and wellness-oriented groups and information and resources.
Fantastic. So a lot of activity around community building and a lot of activity around helping people find jobs and just whatever they need, how they define recovery and how to help them move forward in it.
Correct.
That's fantastic.
And our mission is not to just create programs for people. We want people to give us feedback on what they want and come to us with ideas.
Absolutely.
And then we can create programming that people want to have.
Right, you can have the most fantastic idea, but if it's
Yeah.
not what anyone wants, then you're going to run a group by yourself. What do
Exactly.
you think? That's very interesting. Well, thank you. You know, it wouldn't be any good.
It's true.
But it's so important to make that point because so many programs they do think, oh, this is what this person wants, and it's really not. So to ask the people, and that's an important focus because you really need to design programs that are responsive to the needs of people and to have the peers involved. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Sarah.
Well, I have two hats. I'm Director of Recovery, and I work with 9 peer specialists for the Bay Cove Fuller CBSF teams. And I also am program coordinator for the Peer Education Resource Center that Susan works for. So
Great. So you have kind of 2 main focuses that you do to help promote recovery. And the peer specialists are such a key part of that.
yeah.
Because people really look to the peer specialist to say, you know, how can you help me?
And it's such a brand new program because we're kind of like starting out trying this in Massachusetts with the CBSF programs.
Yes.
And so we're kind of pioneers in a way and trying to find out what works for people and what doesn't work and what kind of roles peers should take and what kind of roles peers shouldn't take. So we're having a lot of input from the peers themselves saying this is what I feel comfortable with, this is what I want to do, this is what works for me.